All right, guys, so you've heard from me numerous times on the most important things when it comes to kayak fishing. But I'm going to turn it over to Eric Siddiqi and let him tell you about his, 3 most important things when it comes to kayak fishing, because it's always good to get different perspectives, and it's something that I really want to start bringing to this channel. So let's hear from Eric on the top 3 things that he thinks are the most important things you should consider when kayak fishing.
I'm Eric Siddiqi from Cincinnati, Ohio, and these are 3 important kayak fishing tips. The first kayak fishing tip is to put all your valuables away. I always do this right before I get on the water. I put my keys in the same place, I put my wallet in the same place. We talked about having a float on your phone, but if you don't have one, you need to put that up too. It's not fun when that goes in the water. And if your keys go in the water, you're stuck wherever you are, especially if you're by yourself. So that's a really big one. Tip number 2. Fish finder is very important, but one thing that's really important in kayak fishing, if you have a Lowrance, you need a .1. You have the little emoji that points direction, a little arrow. If the wind's blowing you or something, it'll turn around and show you go in the opposite direction. If you have the .1, it'll always point toward your nose, wherever your nose is pointing, the nose of your boat. And if you mark a waypoint and you're in current or wind, it's just going to spin around. It's going to point different directions. You're not going to know where that waypoint is. So with a .1, you'll know exactly where the waypoint is. The arrow point wherever your nose is pointing. You have your waypoint right there. You'll know that's where the fish are. So that's really important. So if you're on a budget, I would rather get a cheaper Lowrance with a .1 than a more expensive Lowrance without one. Tip number 3. Use the wind or current to your advantage. If I have the wind blowing down a bank, I'll use it just to blow me down the bank and fish as I go. I could stand up and fish. I could turn my rudder to keep me straight and just use that wind to your advantage. Also, if you happen to be fishing a ledge or something, I get this question a lot. How do you know where to cast the fish, which direction they're facing? Mostly, I'm using the current or wind to my advantage, so I could hold my spot. I'll line up on the fish, and whether the wind's coming from north or south, I'll just face into the wind or current so I could hold my position and cast to the fish. It makes a big difference, and that's the most important thing. Actually, there's one more thing. The most important thing to remember when you're kayak fishing is
I can't believe he left y'all hanging like that. What's worse is I'm also going to leave you hanging. I'll see you guys in the next video.